Okay, let's dive right into this explainer. Today we're exploring a truly fascinating and, honestly, totally unexpected text. It's called a treatise on white magic, but we're looking at it through a very specific, almost contradictory lens today. We're calling it the anti-guru paradox. Usually when we get into esoteric teachings or spiritual texts, we kind of expect to be handed this neat set of absolute truths, right? By some master who basically demands our unwavering devotion. We expect to just sit at the feet of a teacher and absorb their unquestionable wisdom like a sponge. But what happens when a spiritual teacher actively rejects your blind faith? What happens when the author of a profoundly deep spiritual text basically tells you, literally from page 1, that your skepticism and your personal lived verification are actually the entire point? Well, that is exactly the central mystery we're unpacking today. Right off the bat, we're hit with this incredibly powerful hook. He asks you not to believe him. Seriously. The author of these teachings, a figure known as Djwal Khul, or DK for short, lays down this massive challenge. And just to clarify, his teachings on white magic don't mean casting spells. We're talking about practical, soul-aligned living. Anyway, DK demands your personal verification. He's absolutely not looking for you to just accumulate intellectual facts or memorize a bunch of concepts, and he's definitely not looking for guru worship. Instead, he insists that you take these ideas and actually prove them in the messy laboratory of your own life. It is a massive departure from the norm. He's essentially saying, look, I'm going to give you the profound mechanics of the universe, but if you just swallow them whole without chewing, you're doing it wrong. Section 1. Spirituality in 2025. The Information Overload. So, to really grasp why DK's approach is so revolutionary, we have to look at the world we're actually living in right now. I mean, we are drowning in an absolute information overload, aren't we? The pace of modern life is just dizzying, and our search for meaning has gotten totally swept up in that chaotic, high-energy current. Today's spiritual marketplace is literally bursting at the seams. Just think about the sheer volume of stuff we're exposed to every single day. We've got this massive modern spiritual influx. Endless online courses, new teachers, ancient lineages completely repackaged for the internet, non-stop social media content, and entirely new digital communities popping up overnight. The temptation in 2025 is very real, and honestly, it's completely understandable. We're exhausted. We just want to find the right system, adopt the whole thing, and finally feel settled. We want someone to hand us the ultimate instruction manual so we can just exhale and say, okay, this is the truth. I can stop searching now. And that right there, that's the modern trap, which perfectly sets up the brilliant contrast with DK's highly unusual approach.
Section 2. A working hypothesis. Now, what's really interesting about this concept is how it flips our expectations completely upside down.
See, we have this intense, inherent tension in modern spirituality. On one side, we are desperately seeking confirmed belief. We want answers that are carved in stone. But on the other side, we have DK's uncompromising demand, testing against experience. Pivoting away from that modern craving for absolute certainty, we enter this entirely different realm. In a world that is practically begging for ultimate authorities and foolproof 10-step systems, DK stands totally firm in his refusal to be one. He absolutely refuses to take the burden of your spiritual growth onto his own shoulders by just handing you all the answers. He's basically telling us, I'm handing you a set of tools. Use them. And if they don't work for you, break them. Think about that. Think about how liberating, but also, let's be real, how intimidating that is. He isn't asking you to defend his cosmology. He's asking you to put it to the test in the everyday grit and grind of your actual existence. And that brings us to the formal definition of what this text actually is. It's a working hypothesis, meaning it's a practical framework offered specifically for testing. It is not a final revelation from on high. It is not some rigid doctrine to be blindly followed. DK explicitly frames his entire massive treatise as just a temporary signpost. It's meant to point you in a general direction, sure, but you have to walk the path yourself. Every single principle he sets forth has to be weighed against your own developing intuition, and frankly, against the quality of your own service to the world. If his words don't prove themselves to be true in your daily life, he fully expects you to drop them and move on. I want to slow down here for just a second because the gravity of this next point really cannot be overstated. Do not accept. Do not reject. Test. DK warns his students with absolute, crystal clarity that the very second you substitute his authority for your own soul, you've lost the thread entirely. He comes to us not as some god bearing a final revelation, but simply as a brother who happens to have walked just a little bit further along the path. He asks for the exact same rigorous, critical discrimination you would apply to any serious system of thought. Because think about it, if you blindly accept it, you learn nothing. If you blindly reject it, you learn nothing. The magic, the real magic,
only ever happens in the testing. Section 3, your soul's emerging voice. So the crucial point is
That this entire treatise is designed to do just one thing: amplify your soul's emerging voice. The endgame here is not to make you a perfect, obedient student of Jual Kul. The goal is to establish your own soul as the singular, legitimate inner authority in your life. The text is literally just a mirror, designed to reflect your own dormant inner wisdom right back at you, because the path itself friends inward. All of these incredibly complex esoteric teachings, the vast cosmology, the detailed instructions on white magic, they are all brilliantly, purposefully engineered to point toward a silent witness within you. A witness which already knows, which has always known, and which is simply waiting for your conscious recognition. The teacher might be on the outside, but the master is always on the inside.
And this is where we bring all of these lofty, high-minded, esoteric concepts crashing right back down to earth. Functional change over dinner party bragging. I absolutely love this framing. True white magic has absolutely nothing to do with being the smartest or most enlightened person in the room. It is not about memorizing complex spiritual charts just so you can sound super impressive and mysterious at a dinner party. It's about soul-aligned living. It is about practical, boots-on-the-ground service to other people. Ask yourself, does your spiritual knowledge actually make you a kinder person, more patient, more useful to a world that is desperately in need? Because if the answer is no, then honestly, the knowledge is useless. The teaching only earns its keep if it produces something functionally real and tangible in you.
Section 4, the weekly practice. Let's move to and see how this builds into something actionable. To actually put this all into practice, DK offers this brilliantly simple weekly routine designed to build up that muscle of inner knowing. It goes like this. Step 1. Just pause after a meditation or, honestly, even just a moment of inner quiet. Step 2. Ask yourself what you actually sensed or perceived, not what you think you should have sensed based on whatever you read in some book. And Step 3. Write down 3 brutally honest sentences about it. Just picture a blank journal in the morning light. It's ready for your actual truth, not some predetermined spiritual script. The whole goal here is to cultivate direct, unflinching observation. We are actively training ourselves to strip away all those pre-programmed spiritual assumptions and actually finally listen to what is happening inside us.
Which brings us to our final defining question of this explainer. And it's a big one. Are you seeking confirmed belief, or are you willing to test? It all comes down to taking ultimate responsibility for your own inner authority. Are you going to keep looking for a guru to just hand you the answers on a silver platter? Or are you ready to pick up the tools, do the gritty work, and start listening to that silent witness within? The invitation is right there on the table. But the rest is entirely up to you.